Welcome back, geographers, and this is our next case study video for the Unit 2C Changing Economic World topic. This is all about tourism in Kenya. And this case study is all about how Kenya, which is an LIC, so it's a poor country, have used tourism to try and boost their economy and try and make the country better developed. Now in Kenya at the moment, it's got a relatively low life expectancy of 62, and that shows that the healthcare is quite poor in the country. If you look at the literacy rates, 81% of male adults can read and write, but only 75% of female adults can read or write. So therefore, less girls are going to school. And often, if less with is a higher fertility rate. But Kenya's actually done some really good things using tourism, and it's led to this success story here. Okay, so HDI has improved in the country from 0.45 and now it's 0.55. And remember what HDI is, it's a measure of how developed a country is based on the wages in the country, the life expectancy and the education levels. So even though we've got some figures here that suggest that there's still negative elements in the country, something's going right for it, and if they keep doing what they're doing, it's going to help boost the economy of the country. So tourist attractions in Kenya are basically based on the beaches, which are on the Indian Ocean, and the safaris. So tourists from HICs, from rich countries, go to Kenya to go on holiday. They go there to go to the nice beach resorts, and they go there to go on safaris, where they can see things like elephants, and that causes the multiplier effect, okay? And the multiplier effect is obviously a very positive thing for a country because money comes in from outside, from different countries, and gets spent in that country, boosting the economy and creating jobs. More taxes end up getting paid, and therefore everyone wins. So how have they done this? How have they improved tourism in the country? Visa fees. And the visa fees are basically the fee that a person has to pay to go and visit a country. They've reduced them for adults, and they've made it free for children. Now, if it's free for children, then it makes the holiday cheaper, so it will probably encourage more families to go there. And families generally end up spending more money when they go to a place because there's more people in the family to have to buy for and spend for. And they've also reduced the landing fees, so it's now cheaper to fly there. Flights are cheaper to the country. So what that's done is it's made tourism increase by 2 times. Okay, it's gone from 0.9 million per year to 1.9 million tourists per year, so it's doubled. So what we've now got to look at very quickly is what's gone well with this. First of all, we've got 10% of jobs are now linked to tourism, and because it's the tourism in Kenya is not seasonal, they don't just rely on 1 or 2 months of the year to get tourists in, it continues throughout the whole of the year. Then these jobs become quite well paid jobs compared to other jobs that people might do in Kenya linked to farming. So 10% of the jobs are involved in tourism, and those jobs have got better pay to them, and therefore that creates more tax, and therefore that boosts the economy of the country. This GDP is money that's raised from tourism. 12% of the GDP of Kenya comes from tourism itself, and that's money from abroad coming into the country. And so what do they then do with that money? They spend 5% of their GDP on healthcare, and 5% is spent on education. And that's higher than countries like India and some HICs as well. It's a higher percentage. Obviously, their GDP in total is lower than a HIC, and so more money in a HIC will be spent on these things, but proportionally, 5% is quite a decent amount. And if you think about 5% being spent on health, that's going to make people live longer. It's going to raise the life expectancy. And 5% spent on education, it's going to mean more children can go to school and hopefully more girls as well. And therefore the fertility rate will come down and education levels will go up. So very, very good, positive things going on in the country. But then we've got some negatives. Okay. Now, this negative here is about the profits from tourism. And a lot of the companies that promote tourism in Kenya are package holiday companies, and they're based in HICs. And so the amount of money that they get is only 80% of the profits, whereas the LIC, Kenya, will only get 20% of the profits. Okay. Other things that happen because of this is tribes become exploited, they get moved off the land. This tribe here are being pushed away because the land is needed for more tourism-based things, so tribes are forced away. Sometimes they might be using the land as a giant, one big safari park, and having a tribe sort of doing their own thing on there doesn't fit with what the tourism companies want, so they will force the tribes off the land. We've also got terrorism. And terrorism is an issue because Kenya is next to the country of Somalia, and in Somalia there's a civil war going on, so a lot of the terrorists are linked to that, and they will come over into Kenya and they will see tourists as an opportunity to make money. And then finally, the safari vehicles are damaging the habitats. Habitats get damaged, then what happens is we've got a negative environmental impact, and the things that tourists are going there to see, like the elephants, like the lions and various different animals, the habitats that they rely on are being damaged by the vehicles that tourists are using to see those animals. So it creates this kind of negative multiplier effect there. So that's the Kenya case study. Usually it will only be a 6-mark question. Often it's a question linked to a figure. So it might be that you need to use a figure for it, and you'll need to use your knowledge on Kenya as well. Hope that makes sense to you, but always remember to ask your teacher if there's anything on there that you're stuck with. Thank you.